Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Ramblings of a 42-Year-Old Man. Chris Smith here with you today, and we are going to do a quick ramble today about the new sci-fi movie 65. So I went and saw this last night in theaters, and that's where it's currently playing right now. It's been out a couple weeks. Unfortunately, came out the exact same day as Scream 6, which did not bode well for this box office-wise, because that is where most people went to see was Scream that weekend. But this is still hanging out a little bit. So this movie is written and directed by Scott Beck and Bryan Woods. If those names sound familiar, we did an episode a few weeks ago on the movie Haunt, and that was also written and directed by the two of these guys. They kind of made their bones writing A Quiet Place back for John Krasinski a couple years ago. And so since then, they've had this movie and the Haunt one that we talked about, and they are working on a Stephen King adaptation coming out later this year called The Boogeyman as well. So this movie stars Adam Driver from Star Wars and Girls fame, and Ariana Greenblatt, a younger actress. First thing I've seen her in, but she was on a Disney TV show, funny enough, called Stuck in the Middle, which was starring Jenna Ortega, who was one of the main stars of Scream 6. So the two of them came out in competing movies a couple weeks ago. So that being said, 65, I guess a little bit of spoiler alert, but if anybody has happened to see a trailer about this, it's Adam Driver is kind of a spaceship pilot. He's carrying a bunch of like colonists or civilians or something in cryosleep on his spaceship, and they get knocked out by an asteroid and they crash land on this planet. And you're thinking, oh, they crash land on an alien planet, da 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 da. Well, even the trailer will show you dinosaurs show up. So they have actually crash landed on Earth 65 million years ago. And so what we end up finding out is, and this is right from the very beginning of the movie, so I wouldn't consider this a spoiler or a reveal. Adam Driver is not human, or at least not Earthling. He comes from another planet of a race of people that look just like humans, and his job is to fly spaceships to different places. And of course, similar to space, obviously much more advanced than space flight that we have now for Earth, but it still takes long times to go these distances. So he's about to go on a 2-year trek, and so the very first scene in this movie is him saying goodbye to his daughter. And the reason he's having to do this is his daughter has some sort of an illness, and the pay that he's going to get from doing this job is going to help with taking care of her. So that's kind of our start off for this movie. And what ends up happening, obviously, they show the spaceship, it crashes, they land on Earth. All of the other people on board the spaceship are dead, except for him and one survivor, and that is this younger girl, Ariana Greenblatt, who they say is 9 years old. She may be 12, possibly even 13 or 14. She's a little older than 9, but she comes from either a different planet or a different area of the planet that Adam Driver's on, and so they don't speak the same language. So it ends up being a bit of a communication thing, and then he's taking care of her. We find out through some scenes, again, spoilers for the movie, anybody who wants to see it, but I'm going to get into some thematic similarities that this has with another thing that we've been talking about recently. So we find out that while he was on this mission, or it may not have been this mission even, maybe if it was like previous in the past, whenever he was on that long mission that had to take him away from his daughter unfortunately passed away. And so now he's taking care of this girl, and it's very, very, very Last of Us vibes, where, the Pedro Pascal character loses his daughter very early on in the show, and then he ends up having to take care of Bella Ramsey's Ellie character. And so this is very similar. He loses his daughter, and now he's taking care of this one, and he's trying to get her from the area where they crashed to this other area where part of the spaceship landed, because that area has a escape pod that they can get into and eject off of this planet. But it's 15 miles away, or I think it's 15 kilometers away, and of course it's going through dinosaur-infested lands. So it's all about that. But a lot of fun. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. It was, it's definitely, it's only an hour and a half long. It's short, it's breezy, it's kind of quick and to the point. It reminds me of the kind of sci-fi movies you might have seen back in the 90s, like your let's say Leviathan, or that was kind of 80s even, but Event Horizon even a little bit, just kind of short to the point, sci-fi slash horror. The dinosaurs make it into a creature feature a little bit, but there's nothing really horrific. It's more of a sci-fi action. But the main draw of it really is Adam Driver and the girl too. They act really well against each other. Adam Driver is riveting pretty much every scene he's in. He's really an interesting actor to watch. and the communication gap between the two of them, the way they're able to learn to communicate with each other. And you can see the kind of fatherly feelings a little bit that he starts to have for her as well. And you know, her parents unfortunately were two of the other people that did not make it on the ship, so she's got, you know, this need for some sort of an attachment as well. Anyway, the movie does a pretty good job with that, of course, with this backdrop of dinosaurs, and the dinosaurs all look pretty good. I mean, it's most of I think there's some practical effects, but it seems to be a lot of CGI, but not so bad that it throws you out of the movie at all. Everything looks pretty good. So I enjoyed this one quite a bit. Like I said, short, sweet, to the point, and you know, thematically, the kind of the very, like I said, very similar vibes to like Lost of Us, of two people who've lost their families kind of finding each other and trying to get through this traumatic event that's going on. And you know, by the end of the movie, they are able to come together, and they really are a team by the end. It's really nice. I really liked it quite a bit, and I would highly recommend. I know it's probably gonna sink pretty quickly, so I don't know how long it'll be in the movie theaters. It's not doing gangbusters in the cinemas, unfortunately, but be a fun one to watch at home. Probably for most people, it'll probably be a nice one to stream when it comes to one of the streaming services. But be on the lookout for that when it comes out, and that is 65 in theaters now for probably a little bit longer, and then I'm sure it'll be on a streaming service of your choice probably fairly soon. But I enjoyed it. I hope you would too, and thank you for listening to me, and we'll be back next time with another ramble. Thank you.